Welcome to Dravo Vein. Now, there's a lot of stuff that we actually haven't told you along with everything that's happened around this area with this family and their log cabin, two-story log cabin, because honestly, it would just take way too long to tell the story. One of the things that happened the night that we were already discussing before the night of the chaotic night, the full moon at its peak, earlier, the night before, the little boy had peeked out the window, and Barney, and then he steps back and is looking scared, and Barney's like, "What?"
So this is something literally out of a horror movie. Think of Halloween, the original Halloween. Little Tommy Doyle looks out the window and sees Michael Myers carrying the one friend into the house. And he jumps back and hits the girl and says, "Oh, the Boogie Man." Well, this little kid, or I shouldn't say little kid, he's 12 years old at the time. Still a kid. Looking out the window, all right, and you remember the shutters are on the outside of the house. Well, one of the slats was dislodged, and he's looking out. And the way the story was told was he saw something huge that filled in the light area of the mercury light at the barn.
So this is before the light got busted.
This was what caused the light to get busted.
Yeah, it got busted shortly after.
The kids looking at it, and you got to realize you got the dogs going crazy. You know, they all came out of the kitchen. You know, the mother's telling him to get away from the window. The kid just walks backwards and just not saying nothing. His mouth is like you know how it goes and not saying nothing, and he just points at the window. So rookie Barney, I guess he was trying to make himself look macho for his love interest. Looked through the slats and was like, "Oh dear God." That was the word that was said by Jeremiah. That it was said a lot during the report that he saw was, "Oh dear God." And it was said over and over, "Oh dear God." And then he kind of jumped up and looked at the mom. Then that's when the mom said, "Everybody get upstairs." What we didn't tell you all previously was he saw what destroyed the light. He saw dark figures. And one dark figure kind of jumped up and swatted the light. Like a canine. Like, you know, we talked about the werewolf or something you see in a movie. That's what it was. That, you know, the one figure was looking at him, kind of walking slowly towards them. Then another one came around the barn, was walking. And then another one was apparently behind the first one that he didn't see. He just jumped up, and then the light went. You saw sparks, and then the light went.
Now, rookie Barney, even though with what he saw, but he still wasn't quite buying the whole werewolf theory, which I guess I can't blame him, but he just knew it was some large, hairy figure that did this.
Something that had a long tail
Right.
also. It was weird how Jeremiah said what he saw in the report that doesn't exist. The way this rookie described it was tall, had really messed up bottom legs. They all had messed up bottom legs in the sense of from the feet it went up maybe a foot, then kind of went in towards the front of their body to where the knee was, and then it kind of angled back towards the butt. And then something around the butt that would almost like wag back and forth. Like not a long tail, but not a short tail. It was odd. But only one of them had it, and it was the one in the front. It was kind of, this is kind of sounds weird. You know, when we were told this by Jeremiah, I didn't believe it. But when Stan and Anthony, who is on his team, said, "Oh yeah, this is legit," and their facial expressions, I believed every word that I heard. That in the report, the kid distinguishedly said female. This was a female creature.
And another something that happened way much earlier around this house was the oldest daughter, when taking a shower one night, was hearing noises or scratching noises right outside the shower window, or most bathrooms have a window in there, so it was upstairs too, right?
It was upstairs. All right, so we're leaving a lot of details out for the viewers because if we went into every freaky detail, this would be a 3 to 4 hour story. There's a lot of freaky details. But she's upstairs, she's in the shower, all right, and the windows outside of one of the covered roofs to the walk around front porches. She hears like clawing, scratching noises. She's got her towel wrapped around her. She just opens up the blind and sees this hairy, fang-like creature scratching the glass, looking in at her. She screams, falls backwards, busts her head open on the bathtub. This happened like weeks before, and she ended up getting stitches. I think it was 17 stitches in the back of her head. It was quite a few stitches.
Right, and again, you might be wondering, why didn't they just move, get the heck out of there with all these strange things? It's because they hadn't bought into the werewolf Bigfoot theory as well. They just knew something odd was happening, but also they're getting actually police protection here. After all, the oldest daughter's kind of liking the rookie Barney, so he's out there a lot. So we're just now going to get into the Night of Chaos. I call it Night of Terror, but yeah, Night of Chaos is probably the more appropriate term here. Because after what happened that night, the night before, now it's the full moon at its peak. They feel this has become a hot spot, evidently. So they're there to stake it out.
So we had the two state troopers looked around the barn, found all the animals slaughtered. The Bigfoot guy was with the game warden with those guys because they broke off from the main house, went to those guys. The Bigfoot guy smelled a odor that he recognizes, but what he's seeing is not jiving to what he thinks Bigfoots do. So he's at odds. He's really confused and puzzled of what's going on. In his mind, and some of these guys were laughing at him, is like, I believe there's like a war going on here. There's a battle going on here. And he goes, and the funny thing is, and they ridiculed him. It was, Jeremiah saw it in his paperwork that this guy goes, I believe these Bigfoots are watching out for these people. And there's werewolves here that are hunting these people, first getting their animals, then they're going at it. And the state troopers and the sheriffs and even game wardens like, dude, whatever it is you're on or doing, you need to stop. And he goes, I'm just telling you.
But still, after all the claw marks they're seeing, like you said, yeah, I forgot about the fact that they're pretty much all their animals now were dead. All the outside animals. The two dogs were still in the house, and
they had horses too. It wasn't ostriches, it's horses. I'm sorry, I'm kind of buzzing. I'm getting buzzed, drunk buzz. It was horses. They had two horses. They were slaughtered.
Right. So they have reason to be out there on this particular night with the full moon at its peak, and so that we've got the sheriff is out there, Rookie Barney's out there.
No. All right. So here's what we're gonna set up. All right. So it was a busy night in that county and the previous county. Right at dusk, you had two state troopers. You had the rookie and the sergeant. The game warden, because hunting season was in. I want to say this was the fall. This is probably around November, October, December, somewhere around there. All right, because their Christmas decorations, their lights were getting ripped off, cut with the claws and stuff. So this was November Christmas. And so you had two state troopers there. You had the sergeant who was training the rookie. The sheriff was making calls with another sergeant. And the father was at the house. The Bigfoot guy was running late to show up. The game warden was making calls, believe poachers out on property. Howling started all over the place. Things were acting weird. the state troopers will get out of their vehicles. They, walk around the perimeter. They walk around the barn. All the outside lights were destroyed. The bulbs, everything. You hear howling going all around the property. They would hear noises in the woods, but they would hear louder thumping noises coming more towards the woods where the driveway and the blacktop met a mile and a half, 2 miles back. You just heard what was described as weren't howls. They were almost like weird jibber jabber, whistling off in the noises. But around the house, you heard things walking around, growling, howling.
But didn't the state troopers have to leave?
Right. So there was an accident. I don't know if it was a body found, but it resulted into another unsolved murder. That's what Jeremiah told us. That those two got called out. Upon hearing that, the sheriff's like, hey, me and the other sergeant are coming. Because things were happening out through their county. This happened in the next county over, so the state troopers had to leave. It was a distress call, all available units. So the sheriff and the other deputy sergeant was on their way. Well, the game warden's like, hey, I'm coming in, I'm bringing the Bigfoot guy. Because the Bigfoot guy and the game warden are good friends. The game warden and the sheriff are good friends. And the sheriff and the wife are good friends. So everybody's converging there. So all you got left there now is the sergeant and the rookie, along with the dad.
And the rest of the family.
Something we won't get into because it will add another 30 minutes to the story. The rookie and the sergeant decided to take their weapons out of the patrol car and go inside the house and wait for, the Bigfoot guy, the game warden, and the sheriff and the...
Right, because they're hearing the howling, so they're like, something may be on the verge of happening.
Right, so they, you got to realize they got their mag lights, they're flashing around, they're flashing over here, they hear stuff over here, they flash over there, they hear stuff where they just had a flashlight. Things were walking around, and they could hear things growling, like, within the dark.
Right, in the wood.
Oh, yeah, it was, no way, Jeremiah says the paperwork, it was like how somebody's not made this into a novel or booklet. If they got a hold of the evidence, you're missing up on multi-millions of dollars.
Probably.
So, they're barricaded. No, I'm not going to say barricaded in the house, but they're in the house. Alright, so we're not going to get into a lot of details because, again, there's so many details. This make a great movie. I'm not going to lie. So, everybody shows up, actually at the same time, which worked out brilliantly. It's when they opened the door. It's when the sergeant opened the door. At the father's request, because the sheriff got there along with the other sergeant, the game warden, and Bigfoot guy. The dog ran out. The male dog ran out. The father of the pup that got killed months ago ran out. Off towards the barn, off in the woods where they found the cow slaughtered, the goat slaughtered, and his young pup slaughtered. And the other daughter, that was her dog, and she was upset. So the dog ran past the game warden, and game warden was trying to get the dog. He's like, I'll get the dog. He stopped probably 20 feet going after the dog. He just stopped in his tracks. And they're like, what's wrong? And he's just motioning them with his right hand to come over. And he's just looking down, pointing. So they're like, what's going on? He's not saying nothing. He's just telling them to come here. You still hear movement around. So they all walk over. Now the father's out. He's telling the, wife stay inside and all this and that. So the sergeant, the acting sergeant for the rookie's like, Rookie, I need you to stay with the family. So they all go over where the game warden's at. And he's in shock and panic and horror because he sees all of these claw mark human-like footprints that are different shapes and sizes. And he was like, oh my God, what is going on here? And then once again, the Bigfoot guy looks down and goes, I don't know what these are. You all say I'm crazy. I think these are werewolves. But I'm going to tell you this right now. Thank God this is going to prove me right. And they're like, what are you talking about? He goes, I think big alpha male just showed up. You see that humongous footprint right there? That's an alpha male Bigfoot. I'm telling you, this alpha male Bigfoot is here to protect you and your family. Because when you see this, the way he described it, when you saw this footprint, these scurried off. These other cane-like footprints. As they're discussing this, you hear the dog probably 150 yards into the woods. I won't say screaming, but we're just going to describe that it was screaming in distress, yelping. It was injured, being attacked. You heard howls come from it. You heard growlings. You heard the dog yelping. Then it went silent. And they were like, oh dear God. You hear the kids and them are on the front porch by the door. The one daughter screaming, my dog, the dog's name, and all this and that, which we won't reveal the dog's name because we do know the 3 dogs' names. And I don't want to reveal it in case somebody's listening and it's like, oh my God, I know these people. And then Jeremiah might get in trouble. So the girl screaming her dog's name, crying, all this and that. The sheriff is like telling, Rookie Barney, get everybody inside, barricade the house, we'll be back. So everybody else, the game warden, the Bigfoot guy, the father, the sheriff, the 2 sergeants, go in the woods because we had the 2 state troopers that left. And also on the radio, the sheriff calls back to dispatch, I'm going to need some more available assistance here. So there's a record of a radio transmission.
This is those radios, it's like on the shoulder.
On the shoulder it goes, dispatch, this is Sheriff Bailey. I need backup immediately on such and such's property. And you hear all Sheriff such and such is in distress. We need all available units. And in this county, you have the county sheriff, and you also have a small town that has a local law enforcement. They acknowledge we're on our way. And they all share the same channel. So now you got the state police hearing that. So there's radio chatter. So they're all going off to where the dog yelped at. Now we're going back inside the house. The girl's upset. The mother's panicking. Everybody's upset, trying to console the second oldest child, the middle child. I think, Jeremiah told it was like 15, 20 minutes past. And he's calling on the radio. And he's not getting through to anybody. The 2 sergeants, nor the sheriff. He's not getting hold of anybody. And he's got the same radio.
Now, the dad's with the sheriff and the...
Dad's with the sheriff. So only people back at the house is the female dog, the 3 children, the mother, and Barney. The female dog starts acting up, starts growling. Back by the back door, on the walk around back porch or the walk around porch, you hear claw marks. Something's walking on the porch. So the dog's growling. Now you hear it all over again. He's calling the radio like, we need assistance. We need assistance. We need assistance. No answer, no reply. The mother's like, make sure the radio's on. He goes, ma'am, the radio's on. You hear something at the front door. They look at the door handle, and they see the door handle jiggling, like something's trying to open the door handle. You hear claw marks. You hear heavy breathing outside the door. Immediately, the rookie's like, everybody get upstairs. And all the rookie has is his sidearm and a shotgun. So he gets upstairs. He tells everybody goes upstairs. The dog will not go upstairs. The dog stand with the rookie because the rookie's like, everybody get upstairs. The mom's like, you need to come with her. He goes, oh man, I'm going to stay right here. All right. And she's like, get upstairs. You're like, no man, I'm going to stay right here. All right. I'm going to be the first and last line of defense.
Now, if I'm not mistaken, they're hearing noises this time, not just like before, sometimes it'd be front of the house, and then you hear it move around. And now I think it's front and back at the same time, right?
Front, back, all over sides. They're also hearing stuff on the roof portions of the walk around front porch roof. All right, they hear one distinctive clinking claw noises.
So it's a pack of them.
It's a lot of something, all right? So the mother shuts the door, all right? And she's like telling, Brookie Barney, get up here, man. It's not worth it, all right? And he's got the shotgun holding the front door.
So Barney's now upstairs with...
No, Barney's downstairs at the front door at the foot of the main steps with the dog, all right? The father and everybody's trying to find the other dog where they hear the growling. The dog just went quiet. The rookie kid can't get him on the radio. He's not hearing radio chatter. He just hears static.
So he doesn't know what happened to them.
He's not knowing what's going on. Nobody's hearing him. He's not hearing anybody. So he's panicking. Somewhere in the process, the female dog decided, and this tells you how smart dogs are, especially snow dogs, like Siberian Huskies, Alaskan Huskies, Samoyeds, Alaskan Malamutes, giant Alaskan Malamutes. This dog started nipping at the back of his left pants leg. Telling him, we're going upstairs. Like she was going upstairs. So she went upstairs. The kid the rookie saw this, is like, I get the hint. So he's following the dog up the stairs. And the door is still jittering, like something's trying to open the door. All right. So he's going up the stairs, and the dog's running in, barking down the hall, and they start scratching on the door. The mother opens the door. The dog gets in. Then in the master bedroom, the rookie gets in, and he's got the shotgun. And as he shuts the door, they hear by two of the rooms on the right side of the hallway, where's the bathroom where the daughter got her, head busted, hear clinking noises. And, the deputy's like freaking out. We won't get into specifics what happened here, because again, that would add to it. I'm trying to get, finish up. You hear it jumped off, and then you just hear a crackling, breaking noise.
So they've gotten in.
No, you don't know if it broke the roof, or if it jumped off the roof, or it fell through the roof, or if it hit the walkway or the porch, but you hear wood breaking. And then the dog's going on that side of the house where the master bedroom where the parents' bathroom is, and growling. Then it turns the attention down the hallway it just came from. And then probably about 10, 15 seconds after that, you hear the front door being destroyed.